Hi guys, welcome back. We are here to do your update for December 2020. I can't believe I'm saying this. Now, this has been a very unique year. A lot of what's going to come through is going to be very unique this month. I'm here to guide you through that process and into 2021 and beyond. This is a very comprehensive report, and this is a really large pivotal point for us collectively. So we're going to dig deep into your astrology charts. We've also got this video where you can stream forward, stream back, and actually link into what you need to listen to. But there are very important aspects inside this video that are going to help you through. So, you're really guided to listen to each section. It's deeply important for you, and it will be changing the collective for the whole of December 2021. Now, key dates are mentioned and key themes. Let's get into the energy. Grab a cuppa, sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Okay, moving into this month, we already have Neptune and Pisces direct. Now, in shadow energy, it can take some time to kick up some speed. This is an energy that is quite slow moving. We're also having the conjunction point this month, as well as the energy of both Saturn and Jupiter moving from Capricorn into Aquarius, which is, it's what we've been waiting for moving into 2021. It has really taken a toll on us moving through. So many of us will be very grateful, but it is a transitional stage. You need to attempt to keep as grounded as possible through it. Conjunction points can be very positive. They can bring blessings to you. The day after the eclipse, we are also having Aries and Chiron stationary direct. So again, it will move quite quickly. We do need to pay attention to inside our zodiac signs where that links to, which I will mention. But bear in mind that energy, we will start within the next 1 to 2 weeks feel like we're more energetic. We did have Aries and Chiron retrograde. It was really pushing us down for 6, feeling very tired. A lot of us still were feeling tired last month, due to the fact that Aries and Chiron was still retrograde, to give us that time to really reflect. So it's really healthy that it is moving forward, especially moving into Christmas and New Year. It's going to put us in a better standpoint where we can deeply be in our emotional grounded energy to be able to see and perceive things. Also with Neptune and Pisces going direct, it's going to be doing the same thing. And as we move into January 2021, we will have Uranus and Taurus going direct, where next year it will be making 3 squaring points to Saturn in Aquarius. Sagittarius, let's have a look. Okay, now it has been a hard year, and pretty much from May you may have felt a shift, and that's because the nodes moved into your first house placement. For those of you that don't know, the nodes are a mathematical point connected to the energy. Plus, for 2.5 years approximately, it is going to be in your first house. So the south node of Sagittarius is where we're moving away from, and we're guided to utilize the energy of Gemini, which is the north node. Now for you guys, Gemini does link to your 7th house. You yourself and your relationships, it's quite a difficult axis. I've moved through that in the previous nodal energy. It's very transformative. You really do find a lot out about yourself, and a lot of the hard work that you've done in the first quarter of this, already moving into this eclipse season, is going to be showing you something about yourself after moving through the previous Gemini eclipse. Now with this Sagittarius eclipse, again, it's hitting your first house placement. I'm seeing pretty much from October, you guys have been either feeling quite burnt out, working very hard, needing to pay attention to your health, and having to end some old patterns and ways of doing things. You guys have absolutely beautiful aspects coming through this month. It may not feel like it right away, but you can get blessings from the stars coming this month. Now, there can be something very personal internally that is shifting inside of you. It may be due to lessons you've learnt. It can be your spiritual energy. Again, it can be feeling that you've had to think on your feet and learn things that are outside the box of the norm. And the commitment energy, really connected to any tasks you're doing. Now, moving into this energy during the eclipse, There can be some things that spiritually, while you're looking at, the deeper meaning of what home is, especially with Venus and Scorpio, as it does move into Sagittarius again, you're going to be asking yourself those esoteric questions. What is love? What are connections? What do I like? So a lot about yourself in the first 2 weeks, and really moving between 6 to 18 months, moving into the future. This is a large window that you guys are moving through that will really change the whole essence and core being of who you are. Now, look back to May. What was occurring back then for you? That's when this occurred. So we did have the nodes in Cancer and Capricorn, and it moved over into Sagittarius and Gemini. Now, because this eclipse is at 23 degrees, it is deemed as the critical degree point. So by looking back at that time when we did have the nodes shift over, it may give you a little bit of pre-warning as to what that can be. Emotionally and physically and spiritually, I would use amethyst, and I'm warning you ahead of the point of moving into your chakra report, but it can help you keep very grounded from a spiritual point of view. Now let's have a quick look at the chart. I am seeing that prior to the eclipse, we are on the 13th having Mercury in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces. And even within the first week, moving into the second, you have large connections to your first house placement. Now, with Neptune in Pisces, it is hitting your home zone. It can be your daily routine, the things you're doing, spreading yourself fine, really trying to get everything done. And it can be domestic situations. Again, it can be chores and things to that degree, or frustrations due to workloads. The push-pull dynamic is going to balance out. Now, Neptune was in retrograde until the 29th last month, and it does take a little bit of time to kind of start moving forward. So you will find after this eclipse, you can be more grounded. So just try and be patient with the situation, but you may need to get grounded, moving into that energy. The other area I'm seeing is that on the 13th, we're also having Jupiter in Capricorn conjunct Saturn in Capricorn, and it's hitting your second house. Now, the second house is the place of where we can network. We can create our professional resources. We've worked hard to achieve those things. The highlight of this is it can be a benefiting conjunction point, or it could be, and it's the last of it moving forward. So we have that on the 14th as well, but it is moving into the energy of both Saturn and Jupiter moving into Aquarius. So that heavy energy you've had hitting your second house placement should ease up as we move into the rest of the month. Pretty much in the first 2 weeks of December, we are still having Aries in Chiron retrograde. This is also making aspects in your chart. It can be fatiguing as well. Although we did have Mars retrograde and Aries in Chiron retrograde, it was where a lot of our fatigue was coming from. Now, as the month progresses, it still will be in shadow moving forward, but we will feel more energetic. The tension point and the wound is linked to the 5th house. So when it does come to your romance, children, your ability to succeed in that very Jupiter energy of your zodiac sign, it can be a testing point, but try and be patient with yourself. It is due to the astrological aspects, and it is passing. Now, as I mentioned, that conjunction point with Saturn in Aquarius is coming. This is occurring on the 21st. Now, prior to that occurring, we do have Saturn transiting over into Aquarius, and that is occurring on the 17th. We then have on the 19th, Jupiter entering Aquarius. Now, this conjunction point is happening between the two energies, and this does link to your 3rd house, which is very unique because we do have, with the nodes in Gemini, it is very Mercury orientated energy. This is going to be there for approximately 20 years. Jupiter, however, will be shorter, and next year it will be retrograding into Pisces, but we can discuss that further down the track. So how it's going to play out for you with this conjunction point is if you have felt that you have wanted more conducive connections, be able to articulate the way you feel, to be able to put your thoughts into actions, you're going to find that this is really going to bless you in this department. This can be a great house for you to create very tight-knit friendship groups, tight-knit relationships. Also, from a marketing perspective and an employment perspective, this is a very positive house for it to be falling in for you, especially with your Jupiter attributes. I do see this giving you some blessings. For some of you, this could even come in the shape of a recommendation or somebody praising you for your efforts that you've given. So really have a look at that. This can also be linking to a brand new car or looking at things of what you have and moving it to the next level. Now, this can be due to some transformations that you're having of what the true potential is that can be physically coming forward for you. So keep up the good work and be proud of all you've achieved to this point. Even if you're not working, it is also connected to your spiritual transformation and the direct process. But really with that placement, it's going to bless you for 20 years to come. We haven't seen that energy, potentially in 600 years. The two warning areas I want you to be mindful of during this transit is anything to do with children, your romance, and feeling guilty connected to things, especially on the 23rd and the 25th, and I'll mention why. I am seeing tension points occurring within your chart. Now, I'm seeing really beautiful aspects occurring with how hard you're working, your networking, your building of your social standpoint. However, the tension point can be coming really when it does come to doing everything. So, really recouping, especially during this transit, because we still do have Aries and Chiron retrograde. Now, it can be memories, it can be fair-based frequencies, it can also be things connecting to previous scenarios where guilt comes in. I'll give you an example. It could be you're in a beautiful relationship and in a previous connection when you were working super hard, there was a wound linking into you working hard. And it may have been this push-pull dynamic going on. Another thing could be your abilities inside of yourself due to your childhood and the belief systems. However it's going to play out, I am really seeing communication is really going to be the key. So in any facet of this, be it it's with your love interest or your boss, whoever it be, because you're going to have that third house placement, it's fantastic to start alchemizing on that now. Really thinking quite attentively about communicating your truth. Potentially how you're feeling, that you're trying to tie up these loose ends. Just an example point, tongue-tied, so that you can take the pressure off yourself energetically. Because I do see this chart to be super busy. Now, I do see the bigger picture of it, of what you're trying to achieve. However, when we do come to the 25th, I'm just going to be noisy and turn the chart because I really want to have a good look at this. We do have Jupiter and Aquarius making a conjunction point the day before, but on the 25th we have Mercury in Capricorn trining Uranus and Taurus, so it should ease up by this point when it does come to your health balancing out, and definitely by the 15th as it moves forward. It can be very positive, but just make sure on that day, if you're trying to, keep good with certain energies, keep it good. Try not to get too comfortable. We can do that New Year's Eve where we can relax and we can actually look at the aspects. However, the moon energy by the end of the year can be a little bit emotional, but we'll get into that in a moment. Now let's move into the energy of the full moon in Cancer, and then we can get into your romance report. Now, this is a unique day. Really, on this day, the moon is going to be at 0 degrees. I do feel some of this energy is resonating from the previous nodes, and I have seen a trend happening. So although we do say the nodes tend to stay 2.5 years, I'm sort of saying that in the other half of it, it's where we additionally apply that energy as well as we learn connected to the next nodes. That's what I've really seen play out for me personally. Now, as I'm looking at the chart, I do see that there could be some pressure points of you, home, emotions, family, coming up to the surface. Now, it is falling in the 9th house placement. That can be linked to, your belief systems, studying. It could be linking to travel, your purpose. And to balance this, it still is directly linking to the third house placement of communication. So some information can be coming through, waiting potentially, you know, to have this information move, and maybe even needing, you know, more accommodation, bigger accommodation and things to that degree. Regardless of how it's landing for you, it is a very spiritual house, and I will get that back to this energy at the end of this video. But where it stands, your spirituality could be opening up. You could be taking a connection to the next level. There can be 0 degrees is the critical degree. So is really the 23-degree point, which is going to be the eclipse in Sagittarius. So both of them are very critical points in astrology where we're moving forward. At the 0-degree point, there's infinite ways, like the Fool card, this can go. And with Cancer, it does connect to your 8th house of shared resources. So with that and your spiritual beliefs, there could be some tension. There could be memories of people that have transcended over. You could also be looking at your taxes and getting everything in order. There could be concerns about you being a main breadwinner or another person. It should ease up as we do move forward, and it will be a brand new energy coming through. So whatever this is, it's almost the ability for us to turn over that new leaf, but you will find it to be a very spiritual moment indeed. Now, Sagittarius, your romance house. Let's have a look at that domain. Now, be it single, be it your coupled, let's have a look at the energy. Number one, last month we had the eclipse in Gemini, and this is linking to your relationship sector. Now, the nodes are, as I mentioned, you have the 1st and the 7th house placement. Now, from my experience in that transit, it was very unique in my relationship sector. I did, however, learn a great deal, and the strongest energies really do bode very well. And the most beautiful aspect is, by the time we do reach the middle of the month, and I can really see through your chart, you are dealing with things and tackling things and potentially even wearing yourself out. So, you know, be gentle with yourself as you do move forward. I do see over the next 6 months, and even by mid-month, I do see you having a great deal of chemistry. Now, be it you're single, be it you're coupled, you are going to have a connection. This can be where the energy does go to the next level, and it is extremely conducive with Saturn and Jupiter and Aquarius. Now, you are going to find that you are going to speak with care. Now, obviously, with Aries and Chiron retrograde, we can be a little bit abrupt during that process. You know, try and stay grounded with it. Try and be patient with yourself and loving. Create healthy boundaries. You know, with, okay, saying to yourself, I feel tired, I need to have a little bit of time to unwind, and explaining to people, but also taking a bit of space for self. Depending on whether you're a male or a female, I do tend to see in the transits both males and females deal with these energies differently. Jupiter and Mars directly can link in quite heavily to masculine energies. So if in your working life, if you're a feminine, in your working life, this can be hitting you quite hard, and especially for males as well. But internally, from a masculine point of view, those two planets do really hit the energies of masculine energies for 6. So if you have been feeling fatigued and burning the candle at both ends, you will be happy to know that you will be able to relax, probably moving into mid-month. And definitely by the first week, you can see it moving forward. Now, the 14th, as I mentioned, Aries and Chiron is going direct. You will be more playful, more open to communicate, more loving. And as you remove some of these stresses that are in your chart and you're working hard towards, I do feel you to be very reciprocal and open with your loved ones and your marriages, contracts, partnerships. Now, I do see this to be a time where if you're not married, you can be taking it to the next level. But definitely there is this energy where the connection is getting deeper. Now, if you are on the rocks in a situation, this can agitate it further. We will have with the 1st and the 7th house placement. It's interesting because it's sort of like the relationship sector came with the previous eclipse and now it's you. So yes, it does. It is a two-way street, and that's really what that transit showed me. You know, some of the things when I went through the 1st and the 7th house placement, it was me feeling or believing I needed to be something. And it was just at slight levels with various things. And it was a conditioning I had formed myself to believe. So the art of communication came through, the art of acceptance, the art of detaching and being me and growing into the 3D version of who I really am. So I did really go through a lot of changes, and sometimes for the people around me that was incredibly confusing. But at the end point of it, it's almost like you're coming home to self. So you're not only going to have a relationship with a partner, but you definitely are going to have the very best relationship with yourself. Now, let's have a look at your health. Obviously, from a chakra point of view, I will mention a few key areas. Now, really, because you do have first house placement, I do feel you're going to have a lot of crown activations. So make sure from a spiritual point of view that you keep your fluid intake up. Now, you can use amethyst to be able to support this new identity that is coming through for you, as well as the area that is going to come through is due to the nodes in Gemini. And this has been coming up. I'm recording this moving into the Gemini eclipse, interestingly enough. So throat chakra has been coming up for me. Collective energy with this will be coming up, but for you, really balancing that. Even preparing moving into the energy of Aquarius, because it is going to be linking to that for 20 years for Saturn being in that area. So there is a lot of accountability with our cognitive belief systems of Sagittarius, with our viewpoints. Jupiter is going to be there to help us see the benefits of that. And Saturn's going to teach us how to navigate and to stay in the realm of accountability within that area. So it will be very transformative. So throat chakra very much is coming through. I'm also seeing the solar plexus from the Mars aspect of things. So with that, both the solar plexus and sacral chakra can potentially be activated. Inner child wound, strength, co-creative energy. If there's a blockage in that, you can feel overzealous or under letharged, but it is inner child energy and it is that co-creative energy. So eating, again, the yellow food group is from a spiritual point of view, not a medical. If you need that, please do seek that professional advice. I can't advise you on that, and I always have to say that. The other area I'm seeing is high heart chakra, and that is moving into the 30th and probably really throughout the month, because you do have the 8th house placement. So anytime the moon shifts over that placement, there can be memories, especially with Neptune moving at a shadow and direct. You can get a lot of psychic downloads during this time when it does link to loved ones that have passed over. So there is healing linking to, and 8th house can be very unique. It's like literally working so hard to maybe get yourself out of a pickle that you once were in. And learning the lessons connected to that and being a very different vibration now. So it is higher heart chakra and third eye. Nevertheless, I do see if you can keep yourself balanced, try and take space for breaks. Ask for help if you need to. I know you guys are Sagittarius, but if you need to have a break, you need to have a break. You must nurture yourself. I do feel by mid-month it should get better. Balance the base chakra, especially for back-related situations, and the higher heart chakra, because I'm seeing these two areas activated as well. Business and money matters. Now let's have a look at that area. Now I do see that potentially a lot of money may have really been going out probably from around October. Now, when it does link to your children and things to that degree, if you do have children, yes, money can be going in that area, as well as on the forward movement of your career sector. Now, this can be for upskilling, or again, then for food and sustenance, because you do have the 6th house placement there. And again, that was from the beginning of November. Now, as this moves forward, I do feel you guys have been tying up a lot of loose ends to the very best of your capacity. I am saying that with the 3rd house placement coming up, if you've been looking for work, I do feel this can be an opportunity coming through. If you are working, this can be, again, movement and going to the next level. And I do feel this to be a very beneficial position. Now, if you're not currently working, again, I do feel as Mars moves away, direct, Aries and Chiron, This is what I'm talking about. I do feel your energy and your vitality of this month will be transferring over. Now, anytime we have that birthday energy, it almost feels like a soul walk-in. So, you know, from my experience and from many people's experience, we don't feel so flash on our birthday. So again, happy birthday to you for those of you that are having a birthday. Again, all I'm trying to say is being gentle with yourself. I do see mass potential. So 9 times out of 10, what you can find in a transit is when the heavy Sagittarius energy comes through, you reap the rewards the following month. But I am seeing this coming through with the conjunction point of Jupiter. So if you have been tying those things up and you have been building those resources, pay close attention to those areas, because all your sacrifices are going to benefit you in the long run. I do see that this month has kept you pretty darn busy, and potentially even for the last 6 months. I am seeing the house, the home domain coming up in your chart. Now, what this is from a psychological point of view, you're trying to understand where you want to be. And again, because we did have Scorpio hitting the area of your 12th house, you may have been looking at your belief systems connected to privacy, safety, security. And again, when it does come to these things inside of home, these are large themes that are coming up in the collective. Now, when it does come to your dream home, you do have that activation on the 5th and the 6th. And there could be beneficial news or an epiphany moment connecting to these areas, but you really need to keep on top of it. If there's something relating to home as Neptune goes direct, it is hitting your 4th house placement. Tackling it, you know, make sure you directly tackle it. Try not to be angry about situations. If they need tidying up, if they need neutralizing, you know, deal with those circumstances head on, because it will continue to make aspects as we do go to the 9th. You know, and you could be super busy in trying to deal with your psychological foundation at home. Whatever that be. That could be getting the house in order. It could be working too hard. It could be directly working from home. However it's playing out, pay attention to that, because it can be a point of contention. Now, as we've got to the 15th, I do see that for you, there can be some communication coming in when it does relate to growth in your tactile resource goods domain and your professional resources. I do see these building. So networking is going to be the key. Sometimes calling people that you know should you need help in any domain. On the 20th, we have the Sun in Sagittarius conjunct Mercury in Capricorn. Again, utilizing these two areas of, you know, what you actually have. And this can be even selling yourself to a situation or transitioning things, moving things about, looking at how far you've come. You might be feeling, you know, as the weeks progress, a bit down. Shift it and actually have a really good look at how much you have achieved, because I do think this is really what it's attempting to show you. If you've been waiting on money, now that can come mid-month. And I do see pretty much from about the 19th moving forward, information that's been delayed relating to home, relating to money, relating to any information you're needing. Make sure you check your emails, especially when it does come to growth contracts, business endeavors, because we are having Mercury enter Capricorn by the 20th. We want all these details tackled, because there can be a great deal of accountability that we're requiring. So definitely read the fine print on documents around that time. Your dreams. Now let's have a look at that energy. Number one, you may have had a lot of meditation during November connected to this, because Scorpio is in your 12th house. You may have kept these top secret, very smart Sag. Your emotions connecting to these things as well. You might have second guessed yourself. And as Neptune and Pisces does go to about the 2-week point, I do feel that you guys are going to be able to implement those things. Please do not second guess yourself, because this is a very, very positive transit. Initially, with certain circumstances, we can feel agitated, we can feel frustrated, like we're pushing a wheelbarrow uphill, but you're definitely going to get that celebration point at the end of this, and definitely moving into 2021. Now, when it does come to the third house, this can be a real beautiful energy, both in the way you mix with people, the way you eloquently will be able to talk to people, your accountability, connecting to your marriages, contracts, partnerships. This is a very beneficial position. So, you know, with this moving forward, please have faith in yourself. Again, the biggest point I do feel over the next 2.5 years you're going to have, and you've already started that journey. You know, some of those hard yards are in the first 6 months. Really, over the next 6 months, what you will find with this transit and everything else, like I mentioned, some of this has not occurred in 600 years, with Saturn and Jupiter being in Aquarius. So these are places where dreams can come true, and it is very conducive for humanity. So in the collective, we may see things really transform, and this connection you're going to have, not only with yourself but with others, is going to be the big place where dreams happen. Now, traditionally, both Scorpio and Aries do link to the 8th house. Now, with this, during this time, especially near the moon in Cancer, it is very much linking to your 8th house. This can be from a spiritual point of view, where potentially you can be having a lot of upgrades psychically. You can be thinking about the past. You can be thinking about people that are passed over with the 8th house. You can be dealing with certain circumstances that on an emotional level, reigning in a new year and moving through Christmas, can be super challenging. You do need to know that during these aspects, the energy of these people are directly around you. Everything they meant to you, everything they instilled in you, both can be down to the DNA, as well as down to the interconnections. And with the energy of Aquarius coming up, it can be the way in which we're all interconnected. So really, with that, you know, take that forward, look at it, light a candle, think on that energy, and allow the vibration of who those people were to help you move forward into the new. May all they were and all we can be to that degree of growth and beauty. My love and thoughts are with you. For any of you who have lost people during this year, peace be with them, peace be with you. Now, on a brighter note, Sagittarius, thank you so much for following me this year. If you are new, a very warm welcome. Welcome to the tribe. Now, I will see you in 2021 and during the month for all your energy updates. I cover Twin Flame Path, the astrology, moon energy, super chat, you name it, we do it here. As the channel grows, I will connect in with your chakra systems and give you the Schumann resonance updates. So join us and let's get ready to move into the age of Aquarius and bring everyone together. If you're wanting a booking, I do have the booking page. The link is directly below. If you do want more of this content, please subscribe and stay tuned for all the updates. Please tell me how this video resonates. I love to read your comments. I'll see you on the other side.